Never about instantaneous result. Being an entrepreneur, there's always a very favorite in Indonesia. Maybe we eat a lot of instant noodles, but being an entrepreneur is never instantaneous. You need to really work hard. You need to fail. You need to. I remember when I started my business, we were three partnerships in a very small office in Kuningan with my childhood friend. And out of 10 proposals, we got 15 rejections. And it's never easy to begin something. And of course, that kind of spirit, never surrender, never give up, embodies how entrepreneurs actually should approach life. I think the questions from Pak Sudibyo, and it's true, the culture we need to change. And my thesis is you change the culture through changing the mindset, and you change the mindset through education system. I congratulate Stiami to win the UNESCO, or recognize UNESCO's Entrepreneurial University. On dictees, yes, there are a lot of good programs, but our country's problem is not about creating a program, it's about implementation. So I think we have roadmaps after roadmaps, but it stays as roadmaps and collecting dust. So I guess we need to change that. I'm happy to provide guidance whenever I'm invited to train a trainer and so on and so forth. I think Pak Sofyan already outlined the key of success of being an entrepreneur. On getting, my first encounter on entrepreneurship is from the US. In the US, in the university, you have at that time, in the mid-80s, they already introduced an entrepreneurial program. And it's not just by theory, but you actually go out and practice and be on the job and learn about entrepreneurship, how to start a business. Pizza Hut was actually started in my campus at Wichita State University. The founder of Pizza Hut actually was a student and thought about delivering a pizza is actually a good business. So they started the business in campus. So that taught me about entrepreneurship, and when I started my business in 97, 98, I actually embodied that innovation with applying network and trying to increase exposure as a key ingredient of a successful entrepreneurial activity. But Ayu questions is about how to change pretty much in terms of my earlier presentation showed that Indonesia have a lot of micro entrepreneurs, 52 million, but they are not the entrepreneurs that Pak Sofyan and Pak Ciputra want to have, because these are entrepreneurs who are actually being an entrepreneur out of necessity, out of no other option. So we need to lower the number of these type of entrepreneurs from 52 million to, let's say, 10 million, and increase the quality and the delivery factor of these entrepreneurs in terms of giving economic growth, creating jobs, and so on and so forth. So, if you have an entrepreneur day, that's once every 3 months, and I think you should invite Pak Ciputra to give a very inspiring speech every now and then, and I'd like to be involved if I'm invited. On how to, as a parent, to, I don't have that experience because I have 2 daughters and just recently have a boy. They're not yet ready to become an entrepreneur. I leave it to them to choose what they like. My key message to them is do what you love, and you have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, it's very difficult. I just concluded a business transactions with Pak Sofyan's son. His son actually started a business with very little capital. So people say that Pak Sofyan is very rich, but his son actually started business with very little capital, a lot of bank loans, and he actually managed to sell or create values 5 times in the last 3 years. That's an amazing story. share this type of stories that, you know, even though you have rich parents, it doesn't mean that you are going to be born with a silver spoon, but they actually embody on how to struggle to be an entrepreneur and to be successful. So in terms of educating the parents, I think it's a long way along the way of changing the mindset and changing the culture. The story of Pachi Putra is a great story about how a civil servant's wife or ex-girlfriend is becoming working for their ex-boyfriends, which is a great story. My story is actually, and this is, I think, happening live. I come from an academia family. My uncles are teachers, my grandfathers are teachers. Even where I am at this moment as an entrepreneur, every time the family get together, one of the very common questions that I'm being asked is, when would I take my PhD? Because their view of somebody successful is not to be an entrepreneur, but their view is somebody who's teaching in a university is their perspective of somebody who's successful. So we have a long way to go, and I think Chiputra University and this type of initiatives would really pave the way so entrepreneurs can be recognized as successful citizens in the populations of Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.